Hello guys, welcome back to another stream, our last expanded stream before we move on to Dallas. And so if I manage to stream on Wednesday or Thursday, it will definitely be standard once again, as today's stream should cover enough of the video. So if you're watching this on YouTube, thanks so much for being here. Don't forget to leave a like on the channel, or on the video rather. Really helps out the channel. I appreciate it, and welcome to a brand new day of Road to TCG Worlds 2018. Poké collectors, Marky Loves Cats, thank you so much for being here. And so let's start. Well, rather, we are going to start off today with this Turbo Fire deck, right? This deck did pretty well at the first expanded regionals of the season. In Fort Wayne, before we had Shining Legends and before we had Crimson Invasion. So since then there have been new threats such as Zoroark come up, but I wanted to give the deck one last try before completely dismissing it before regionals. It had been requested because it is a fairly straightforward and fairly simple deck in a sense, so it makes sense to try and try it out, because it hits very hard, it hits very fast as well. So those are a really good combination of factors to have in any deck. So the main focus are Turtonator GX with 190 HP, Shell Trap dealing 20 damage, and then during your opponent's next turn, if Turtonator is damaged, you place 8 damage counters, even if Turtonator is knocked out. And then you have Bright Flame, which deals a solid 160 damage, and you discard 2 fire energy from the Pokemon. So very straightforward. The idea is to power up Turtonator with either Kiawe or Blacksmith and continually knock out whatever is in front of us. Nitro Tank GX allows you to recharge and attach 5 fire energy that you have discarded from your discard pile to your Pokemon in any way you like. So a very solid way to recharge your whole field. Now we also have Ho-Oh GX, which also has a different weakness than Turtonator. Turtonator is fire, and Ho-Oh is weak to... Turtonator is fire, weak to grass, weak to water, and Ho-Oh is fire, weak to lightning. Same 190 HP, it also has fighting resistance, which could come in handy against things like Lycanroc. And then we have Sacred Fire, dealing 50 damage to any Pokemon you want, and Phoenix Burn dealing 180 damage, and Ho-Oh cannot attack the next turn. But things like Guzma, things like Floatstone, things like even Pokemon Ranger fix that very, very easily. Eternal Flame GX probably not going to ever be used unless a weird scenario where you need to revive something like triple Volcanion EXs so that you can triple Steam Up afterwards. But it's not very likely. So the whole idea is to use Phoenix Burn in order to knock out your opponent's threats. Now, in combination, we have the one Baby Bulk Power Heater, allows us to recharge as well energy from the discard pile to our Pokemon, and we have 3 Volcanion EX, which means Steam Up allows you to deal extra damage by discarding fire energy, which is really, really nice. Volcanic Heat is also a pretty decent attack, not as powerful as the other two, but it can sometimes do the trick good enough. And it's also double typing, weak to, double typing in fire and water, so you never know when the water typing will come in handy. Now, for support, we have 2 Double Lele, 1 Sudowoodo, so that we can limit our opponent's Zoroark GX's powerful attacks. And then we have the 2 Shaymin EX, which allow us to keep digging into our deck. Now, overall, we have 4 Sycamore, 3 Guzma, 1 N, 1 Karen, and the 1 Kiawe. 2 Kiawe, sorry. Yeah, 2 Kiawe. Kiawe allows you to immediately power up any Pokemon with 4 fire energy, and then your turn ends. But if you use it on turn 1, you weren't going to attack anyways. And then we also have 4 Blacksmith in order to recharge and get back fire energy that we discarded with Turtonator's attack or with Scorched Earth, which allows us to draw extra cards by discarding a fire energy. And where's the Full Art Karen and Blacksmith Poké collectors? Well, I don't always get the promos in this particular special account because it is provided by the Pokemon Company. So When I do, I obviously include them, but so far they haven't given me the copies of the Trainers collection, so I can't use them yet. Now for consistency, we have 4 Ultra Ball, 4 Verse Seeker, 3 Floatstone so that we can keep retreating, and then 1 Computer Search. No Choice Bands, no Fighting Fury Belts. I feel like that's the one thing that we're really lacking, but we really need a lot of Fire Energy to get this deck working. So that's why you have the 16 basic Fire Energy. So let's jump into a ladder. Oh, and Computer Search is a spec of choice. Let's jump into a ladder and see what we can do here. And Azul, thanks so much for the host. And this is standard. Let's jump into expanded. And there you can see the 4 decks that I will be trying to play today if we have time. The Fire deck, Sableye Garb, Turbo Dark, and a Zoroark Dimension Valley list that I'm really looking forward to trying out. Jake, there's a massive snowstorm in your area and school literally just got cancelled, so you got home right in time to watch the stream. That is awesome. Thank you so much for being here. And no max elixirs, Sergey. They're not really needed. You have Blacksmith to recharge, you have Kiawe to accelerate energy, so that's what we are going to try to do. And right off the bat, we have a pretty good hand. We seem to be up against a Zoroark deck, as we saw from my opponent's mulligan. So, in order to just need to steam up just once, I will be leading with Ho-Oh, because that seems like a very good Kiawe target. And I will be not benching anything else, because we are going first now. My opponent has an Execute up top, so I will be using Lele and playing Lele for Kiawe. And now the question is, do I bench anything else? Purple Cliff, thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much, that's very kind of you. Hello, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much. Always proud to be part of Team TCGO. I need to update my my layout to showcase it. But yeah, thank you so much for being here. And Foul Play Zoroark, yeah, Foul Play Zoroark is definitely an issue for this deck. I can't say it isn't. Now, should I just go ahead and search for Sudowoodo? I feel like I should. I'd rather keep energy alive with without Turtonator, so I will be benching the Sudowoodo. And now, because of the possibility of turn 1 Getsis, and yeah, a new emote, Jake. That was achieved last stream on Thursday, I believe, and we are now at 36 out of 50. So we need 14 more rather for the next emote. Okay, so we have a pretty great hand. The one card we have is Sycamore. I played the Verse Seeker so that we had some defense against Getsis, or rather so that we were immune to Getsis. Otherwise, unlikely, my opponent will probably just... simply bridge it here, as we are seeing, but there was a chance that he would choose to use Bridget for... not Bridget, he would choose to use... turn 1 Getsis, so I just wanted to be extra safe. And so yeah, as we are seeing, Alolan Muk is also an issue for this deck, simply because it makes it so that Volcanion EX's ability does not work, and therefore we cannot steam up to reach for higher numbers. So I'm gonna use Scorched Earth. I would have really liked to find a Guzma or an Ultra Ball, so I could Lele for Guzma to start knocking out the Grimer next turn potentially, but that did not happen, so I will just Sacred Fire and take a knockout here on the Execute. Could have actually, maybe that was better. Maybe I should have just targeted the Alolan Grimer. Maybe that could have been a little bit better. Teammates plus Foul Play Zoroark plus Choice Band does in fact get rid of the Ho, so yeah, probably benching, trying to snipe the bench, sniping the Grimer would have been potentially useful. And let's see some more. Ho and Garbotoxin Garbiter is also a decent combination. If we had Choice Band, we could reach for a knockout on Zork even without Steam Up. But yeah, I based my list off of the list that won in Europe a while ago, a special event. Because of Outplay Zork, I actually think there is some merit to using simply using Fighting Fury Belts to get out of reach of the knockout. And yeah, no indication that my opponent has a DC just yet, nor the Choice Band, which is what we are hoping for. So there's gonna be this setup from Shaman, and hello Dan, thank you so much for being here. So yeah, as I was saying, Garbotoxin Garbiter does sound pretty viable. Nacho, you only have 2 Lele. Should you buy more Guardians Rising or another Lele or save the coins for the new expansion? I generally think you'd be better off buying more Guardians Rising and trying to get another. Ooh, my opponent benched a Lele after. So why didn't he just Lele for teammates and then got on with it? He would have guaranteed the cards he needed, but okay. Replaces the stadium. Yeah, Nacho, I think you should definitely buy more Guardians Rising instead. Simply because like all the things for a new expansion, they will be more readily available. So I think it would be worth it for you to just try to find another Lele by using your coins for your Guardians Rising packs. Okay, so my opponent has 4 cards. Did he whiff? Do we have knockout here? The mug is very annoying to deal with, but my opponent actually completely whiffed here. Now, our hand is actually not great. If I play the Scorched Earth first, I could bench the Volk, bench the Turt, and then play that to discard the Lele. That seems worth it. The other Pokemon are probably more useful here. So I'm just gonna replace the stadium, and I will choose to discard Lele. Like all the other Pokemon actually have some use, whereas Lele doesn't really. Now losing all of this to a Sycamore will also hurt a lot, but we still have quite a few Blacksmiths, we still have Versus Seekers, and we're trying to get closer to Guzmas as well. So let's Scorched Earth once. I have to remember that no more Lele though, because I do tend to forget that. And then Energy onto the Ho-Oh. And okay, so 4 cards in my opponent's hand. We know he doesn't have DC and Choice Band. He might have one of the two, but he definitely doesn't have both. So I'm just gonna use these cards up. Discarding the Karen as well. I really don't need Karen. I'll grab the Baby Bulk just so that I don't top the kit. And then the Blacksmith here is pretty crucial, but I feel like dealing 50 to the Zoroark seems really good here, because that way it's always in range of my Ho-Oh. Like I can get back-to-back knockouts. Taking the knockout on this Zoroark just feels super lazy though. Or I could take the knockout, then he will attack me, but then I could retreat and Blacksmith and deal 180 and then hunt down the Zoroark. And I would be getting rid of the foul play. So, okay. After reasoning it, I do think Phoenix Burn is the better choice here. So let's go with that. Not completely sold. That was the right way to go about it, but... Okay. My opponent immediately promotes a different Zorua. So, stand-in Zoroark plus a Choice Band once again does get the knockout. My opponent will Ultra Ball away Lele and Getsis. Discarding the Ultra Balls in the previous turn also means that we were able to, if gets it was the only choice for my opponent, we made it so that he couldn't, he wouldn't draw as many cards. He would just draw 1 instead of 3. And the White Snake, thank you so much for subscribing 2 months in a row. Thank you so much, guys. And I promise you guys, I'm working on getting the badges done. So those will hopefully be done very, very soon. Okay, so this is an issue, kind of. We lost the blacksmith that we were counting on. We can't search for it. We're gonna take some damage here. I mean, it's not the end of the world. My opponent chooses to deal 120 instead of 100, putting a kind of a liability in the shaman right there. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna Scorched Earth, and we get a Guzma. Okay, so Guzma allows me to knock out the Seismitoad, to knock out the shaman. I would be going down to 2 prize cards though. But I think that's worth it though. Because sure, I'm super susceptible to N. And surely my opponent will N, but I can also play around that. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I could also get rid of the mock, but I don't think that's worth it. I think our win condition is knocking out Toad and knocking out Shaman. And because of that, I feel like I should knock out Toad. I'm gonna attach the energy to a Turtonator so that I have access to the GX attack, and both are 1 blacksmith away from getting powered up. And I'm going to Guzma knock out the Toad. Toad could make our lives way more annoying than Shaman could ever be, so let's go with that. And then I could Ultra Ball here as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 energy. 6, 7, 8, 9. This would be my 10th energy, so I would still have 6 left. I feel like it's worth it. We're literally just deck thinning here, trying to get the blacksmiths, the Guzmas, etc. The Versus Seekers. We lost a ton of them in a previous Sycamore, but we should be good here. Our prize cards are Sycamore and Scorched Earth. Not great cards, because what we're looking for is Versus Seeker or Blacksmith. We only have 1 Versus Seeker left, but we do have, in theory, 3 blacksmiths left. So yeah, very, very intense game here. Very, very intense game. And yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. Hopefully the stream is behaving properly, guys. If it isn't, please let me know in the chat, but from what I can tell, it's looking okay. See another trade. I actually would really welcome an N here. Or what happens is Ho-Oh goes down. My opponent is down to 4 prize cards. Then next turn I can potentially Sycamore, thin my deck more, and then I will use my Nitro Tank GX and I will power up both Turtonator and Ho-Oh, and that will leave me 1 Guzma away from winning, which I've already used 1 Guzma, so I have 1 Guzma and 1 Versus Seeker left. And hello Joe Bro, thanks so much for being here. Ooh, there we see the double puzzle. There we see the double puzzle for the Foul Play Zoroark and a Field Blower, which I really don't mind too much here. You don't think he's playing Floatstone? I would assume he is. We haven't seen it yet, that's true. But, I mean, promoting the mug means he just, like, even if he isn't playing Floatstone, he definitely has Guzma himself, so the Guzma allows him to switch. So I don't think that would be the right approach. I think the Shaman is our target here. JP Jones, you made a funny derp deck if you want to have a bit of a giggle. Well, right now we're testing for Expanded for Dallas. Usually the days that I play against you guys with fun. I'm using decks is mostly on Fridays and Saturdays. So definitely save that. Ooh, I got the blacksmith. Okay, so definitely save that for a different occasion, JP Jones. Okay, so I got the blacksmith, but now I don't need the blacksmith. What I needed, well, I could hit. I could just hit the Zoroark for 160, and then it would be in range of Sacred Fire, but I would need another blacksmith. This got very tough very fast. Okay, I will blacksmith. I will blacksmith and I will hit for 160. I'm gonna keep the Scorched Earth for now. I'm just gonna Bright Flame. Yeah, there was, as you say, J-Dog, there was no reason for an opponent to play down the Shaman. The difference between 120 and 110 damage was actually not significant at all. Ooh, there we see the Acerola. There we see the Versus Seeker for Acerola. How many more times can he do that? He can do that 2 more times. So DC Choice Band gets a knockout. Yep. So we are in quite a bit of trouble here. Oof. We are in a lot of trouble. Yep, my opponent will be able to make a comeback most likely. Now we rely on Volcanion, I guess. But a simple Kuzma means my opponent has us and we don't have N. Once again, I top deck the Blacksmith. If I had 1 fire energy, I could knock out with my Volk. That would be ideal. I can't believe I top decked another Blacksmith. But yeah, this will probably be game. My opponent will most likely just Kuzma knockout here. The Kuzma got here too late. The Kuzma just, it got here way too late. Yep, we're not winning this one, guys. We are not winning this one. And yeah, this is the issue. I feel like Zoroark is indeed very strong, extremely strong, and even with Sudowoodo, most decks are now running the Muck, so Sudowoodo is actually not a good way to counter the Zoroark. So there it is. Yep. We tried our best. Our best. The draws we had were not ideal in the middle of the game. Like, we started off very strong, but without any extra draw support, without any extra draw Pokemon, our deck just really couldn't catch up to all the trading that my opponent was doing and all the deck thinning. We drew the cards in the wrong order. And it's cool to rely on Blacksmith, but without any way to add damage, the Alolan Mug just shut us off way too badly. If we had a way, maybe I should have targeted Alolan Mug. Maybe that would have made life a lot easier. Maybe, not sure. Okay, so my opponent chooses to immediately concede for whatever reason. So let's find our second match for the Fire deck. And then after this match, you guys get to decide which deck you want to see. You can see Sableye Garb, you can see Turbo Dark, or you can see the Zoroark Dimension Valley deck that I prepared for today. So it's completely up to you guys. Okay, I'm gonna predict we're up against Pikabulu here. Gonna predict we're up against Pikabulu. Okay, so we get a Ho start and we have the Kiawe. We have the turn 1 Kiawe, but we are not going first, which is never a good thing, because we're up against Seismitoad, which is actually not terrible. We get N. So goodbye, turn 1 Kiawe. What are we going to get? Okay, we get the turn 1 Kiawe. That works. That definitely works. That definitely works. Okay. So, do we need to do anything here? We're gonna use the Kiawe. We can use one Ultra Ball, but do I really want anything? I don't want to give my opponent... okay. Okay, I will search for a Volk. I will search for a Volcanion, but I will not bench it. I will definitely not bench it. I will play the Versus Seeker for a Sycamore. Guaranteed. And then with this hand, I will hold it and I will play the Kiawe. For 4 Fire Energy, I believe there were 12, 13, so there's actually 3 Fire Energy price, which could be a problem. And we see a Bridget. Bridget for triple Zork and Sudowoodo. Sudowoodo is not a big deal. 60 damage is also not a big deal. My opponent has 2 cards in his hand. So yeah, now I will bench these guys. And I will definitely attach to the other Ho, and I will Sycamore here. So with the 1 Volk, we have enough firepower to just team up, knock out the Zoruas. We have Ultra Ball to search for Guzma with Lele next turn. So we're just gonna Phoenix Burn for the knockout here. Just Phoenix Burn for the knockout. They saw Volcanion and they jumped ship. Thanks so much for being here, Purple Cliff. What Pokemon was that attacker? Arrived late and couldn't see anything else other than the 210 to a Ho. It was the Foul Play Zork, Kuro 15. It was the Foul Play Zork. The one that allows you to copy an attack from your opponent's Pokemon. So he copied my Phoenix Burn, which dealt 180 damage, plus a Choice Band to 110. And wow, we see simply a pass by my opponent. Okay, so Ho cannot use Phoenix Burn, but we can use Sacred Fire. So I'm gonna Steam Up. That guarantees a knockout on this Zorua. There was no way for me to be able to goose... Well, actually I could have just Guzma'd up the Tapu Lele to knock it out. Might have been a small mistake, but I'm just gonna Sycamore here. I don't think that will be too impactful. I will attach an energy here. I will Versus Seeker for the Sycamore because we are up against... well, either we're up against Zoroark or we're up against Seismitoad Zoroark. And I guess it's looking like pure Zoroark. No Mach though, which is great. And then I will Sacred Fire the active and get another knockout. So yeah, I guess I'll do Sableye Garb first and then you guys can decide. I'm very excited about the Dimension Valley deck for sure. It's something that I just came up with it this morning, but who knows. The good thing about this is that we can actually use Phoenix Burn next turn, or the Ho can just come up, use Blacksmith, Steam Up once and get rid of the Zoroark. So we should be good here. Even if my opponent manages to find a Skyfield and another basic, we should be good. It's really not that big a deal. J-Dog, do I think Wailord is a good play for Dallas? Yeah, Wailord is actually very strong right now, I think. Ooh, we see a grass on the Zoroark. That's interesting. Wailord will always be a good play, I think. But if like I don't have tropical beaches in real life, they're in Spanish, so I can't use mine at the expanded regionals. So it's something that I haven't contemplated, but I do think it's a great option to have. And okay, so what do I do now? I can knock out the Sudowoodo, I can computer search for Guzma and take a knockout on the Zoroark, and I feel like that's the right way to go about it. So I'm gonna computer search away the Ultra Ball and the Turt. I'm going to grab a Guzma, the one Guzma we do have. And then I will Kuzma the Zoroark, and this will put me at 1 price, which should be fairly easy to take. Steam up the fire, then retreat, and deal exactly 210 damage. Here we go. Hello Gamer Hello, thanks so much for being here. Pokemon Company, just let us use any language Tropical Beach, that would be amazing, or at least let the people, like yesterday I went to a league challenge just for fun, and the event took place where the distributor, so we just went here with Blacksmith or Kuzma, and the distributor told me that they're now only going to be bringing in Spanish cards, no more English cards. So that means there's a victory. That means, the White Snake. Apparently you resubbed and I didn't get a notification, but thank you so much for the resub. Thank you so much. So yeah, they're only bringing in Spanish cards. So now I will be forced, like if I can't support even my local stores or my local whatever, because I can't use Spanish cards to the tournaments I go to in the United States. So it's crazy. But anyways, guys, a fairly solid win for the fire deck there. No lowland mog means that fire maybe has some sort of chance against Zoroark decks. But that will be all for the fire deck. So if you're watching this on YouTube, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, and feel free to try out the deck yourself. If you're here live with me on Twitch, please don't go anywhere. I will be right back with some Sable Garb action.